Well, good morning, guys. Welcome to Words from a Friend podcast. I'm your host, Marty Carey, and this is the podcast that follows my book, Words from a Friend, a daily guide to a purposeful life. It's available at Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. We were on a 365-day inner journey together, so happy to have you along. Last night was Valentine's night, so I hope you had a great evening. Today's message may be very pertinent for you. It's a little extension of yesterday's message. We are on day 45 of our journey of 365 days, and we are on the February 15th message in the book. And it is called When Your Power is Off. And again, this is an extension of yesterday's In Power or Out of Power. All right, just a little extension. This part is about being out of power, when your power is off. Right, so you might be waking up from a big night last night, not feeling your best. You may have to do some stuff today, and your power is not going to be on. It's going to be on half-mast, right? So, unless you were really good last night. Okay, when your power is off. Your faith and daily attitude are what turns your power on. When your power is off, we sound something like this. This day's going to suck. No way we can do that. I don't have what it takes. I'm not like you. That's not realistic. I can't. I'm not good enough. I'll never get that. It's them, not me. I'm not lovable. I'm too good for them. That's a classic. I hate those people, and they don't like me. All ego lines, right? You know, you may feel they're true, and they may be true. They may be true. They may not like you. So what? So what? As long as you love yourself, know where you're headed, and you're serving the good stuff of life, what does that matter? Your tribe will find you. Your tribe will find you, right? Stay out of the complaining. Stay out of the moaning and groaning. You're keeping yourself in a lower vibe. You're keeping yourself in a lower mindset. And that lower mindset is directing your life. Just like a producer and a director back there, right? You're producing it with your thoughts, your words, and your deeds every day. You're producer, director, and you're the actor, all in one. So your lines on this stage of life have got to be intentional. They got to be thought about. They got to be recognized to where they're coming from, right? You got to be aware and awake, self-aware. And awake is when you know you're running this ship. You're the captain of this ship, not from your ego, from your soul. The soul is the captain because it's the highest part of you with the highest knowledge, the highest wisdom. It's ancient wisdom. We all have it. It's in our DNA. We unlock it every time we realize how blessed we already are in many ways, and we have to look at those every day. And and what we give is our message on this stage. What are our lines? What are our roles that we are playing? What roles do you want to play? Right? If you get married, you're going to play the role of husband. Then you might be role of father. Then you might be role of grandfather, and all those different roles. And then your roles at work. But the most important role is the first role. Who am I? Who am I? If I asked you who you were, you'd probably tell me your name. You'd probably tell me your job. You'd tell you what you do and about your family and all of your accomplishments and all that. But that doesn't get to the truth, the absolute bottom line truth of who you are, which is an eternal spirit, eternal traveler of light, right? Time and space. Here we are. Here we are landed on a planet in time and space to have a journey, a human journey. We get to have this. We get to. And sometimes it seems like we've got to endure it. Yeah, there's times we have to endure. There is, because we are on the human journey. And this is what human life is like. But our spirit is here to enlighten the human part of it, right? So we can evolve, so we can grow. But the most growth is the simple understanding that we are all from the same source, from the same home, from the same light we call heaven. You know, we go back home, and it's not the first time, we've been there. That's our home. We're going back home to it. This is a place, we're here, but we are not from here. we're not of here. We are a spirit in a suit traveling in time. This time around, I'm me. I'm having this podcast, and I'm telling you that you two are the same. You two are the same, right? That's why we see each other as costumes, and ones we see we don't like, ones we see we like because they're like us, right? These are the costumes we like, the ones that are like us. And then we're skeptical of the ones that don't kind of look like us because we don't know about them, and we just make judgments and snap decisions. Ego. Separation. That's the separate mindset, the lower mindset, the one that doesn't recognize souls, the one that recognizes costumes and makes judgments from that point, that lower mindset. The higher mindset, all of that is known. And it says, who's in front of me is me in another costume. They're from my family in another costume, right? Mother Teresa said when she was walking the streets of Calcutta, India, when she was taking care of AIDS babies, holding them in her hands, when AIDS was at its height, when you thought even you touched a person with HIV or AIDS, you were going to get it. Not her. She went and held those babies. She knew. And she always said, everyone I see outside of myself is just Jesus in a distressing disguise. In those circumstances, right? Just Jesus in a distressing disguise. That means they're just another person of the family of light in an earthly costume, having an earthly experience, and it may not be a nice one. So what's our role in that? She saw her role. Her role was always the same. Bring light. Bring her light to it. She always said that she felt a very heaviness follow her whole life, Mother Teresa. And that heaviness was just what we talk about every day. It's our heavy self. It's the darkness that we have here as contrast to our light, right? Know the darkness, but lead with your light. That is the lesson of the light, right? And watch what grows, right? We grow through the darkness, coming up, and then when we see the light, we bloom and realize and remember that we are the light, right? In many different forms and symbols. The trees are light, animals are light, everything. The earth is a living being. The earth is a living being. Everything created by God has a vibration to it, a living energy. And we are a family, a collective of those living energies as humans this time around in our journey. We're eternal travelers, okay? Don't let that scare you. That's incredible. There's no death. There's no such thing as death. It's just transition, okay? So if you're facing that right now, just know, when you go back home, you're going to know it's home. It's love, baby. You're going to be brought home with trumpets. Trumpets are blaring. Don't you worry about that, okay, if you're facing that. I love you if you're facing that. It's going to be okay. It's going to be more than okay. You're going home to paradise, okay? Let's see. These are only a few of the lies we believe and take on every day. We become the lie, and then we go about spreading its energy, right? When we're angry. You could be angry about something at home, but then you get to work and you're still carrying that energy. And then other people, you're going to have that misdirected anger. You've heard of misdirected anger. That's very popular in the ego world. I'm mad about this, so I'm going to be mad about everything that comes my way. Even if it's something nice that's for me, I can't receive it in that mindset. You go, oh, thanks, yeah. All right, well, I'm pissed about this, so I can't thank you properly about that now. Well, maybe not in that moment, okay? Maybe you're in the turmoil of something, all right? But come back around later and say to that person, hey, listen, I was out of sorts. And you're not out of sorts, you're out of your center. Your ego takes you out of sorts, out of your center, out of clarity. Clarity, clear thinking is clarity, right? We have clarity when we understand the lineage of where all good things come from. And that's what we're most grateful for. It's not Marty coming up with these great ideas. These great ideas are bubbling up through me as a conduit of great ideas that I feel like carrying out, right? If God knows you're going to carry them out, he's going to send you more. God knows you're willing to carry out the dreams that he planted in your heart and you're willing to take the action on them and fulfill that for yourself, wait till you see what comes. That's the stuff. That's the variety of life. That's the spice is creating. You get a good idea. Don't let it sit there. Somebody else would take that idea and say, are you crazy? You're not going to do anything with that. If you don't mind, I'll do it. And then you get all pissed off because you didn't do it. in Focus Master, you know how many times in the martial arts world, in 20 something years in the martial arts world, that machine, that we've had people come up and say, I thought about that very thing and I just never did it. Right? Happens all the time. You might have said it yourself many times. I thought of that. And now it's out there. And somebody else is making a lot of loot from it. Well, that may be true or may not be true. But they did it. And so they took the entrepreneurial spirit that they had and they said, who says I can't? Who says I can't? I say I can. And that's God saying, all right, let's see it, smart pants. I'll help you all the way. But you got to take that enthusiasm and ride it. Ride it like a bronco as far as you can go. And then in that journey, I'm going to send you some new friends, some great laughs, some memories that you will never forget, and some people you'll be so grateful to have in your life. That has been the journey of saying yes in the entrepreneurial world for me. Always been. Always been. So I'm sure I've met you, if you're listening to this, in one of those journeys. And we had a laugh, didn't we? That's what it's all about. Okay. We are not guaranteed tomorrow, my friends. Doesn't it make sense to spend each day giving away your true self as your life's true purpose? Wouldn't you want to be remembered for charging the hill of life instead of running the other way? Yeah. It's fight or flight in the ego. It's fight or flight in survival thinking, right? We're coming out of survival thinking. We're starting to go into thriving thinking that helps us to thrive. It recognizes that we have the ego, full recognition. We have to embody and know that that's there. Okay, it's there. We're going to have that. Helps us in some ways. But mostly it just takes us right out of sorts and down the tubes because we believe the voice of the lower self. Nope. What you gain in your higher self after a while is a clear channel, so your intuition gets stronger. I don't know whether you believe in intuition or not, but it's inward. It's in. You're thinking with your heart, your inner self that has both a transmitter and receiver to the divine. Okay, that's our connection. That's our eternal connection while we're here. Right. So when you tune into that and start living from that, things start making sense to you that didn't make sense to you before. You start coming out of that fog and you go, why did I do it that way? Geesh, I never thought of it like that. All of those epiphanies come. They come. They just come like that. And then you start living in that world, in a mindfulness world. You know, this may be a catalyst. The first time you've heard this stuff, may be a catalyst into your new mindfulness journey. And boom. I once I had that for me, I wanted more. I wanted more. I wanted to uncover more and more and more. And this is what I'm sharing with you, is what I found over 20 plus years of more than that, of just trying to fix myself, my anxious ways, and anything that was holding me back from living my highest purpose, right? Whatever that highest purpose is. Right now, I think this is it. God may have more plans for me than this, but right now, this feels like it. Okay, so let's see. You're running the other way. You're an amazing piece of all that is, the universe itself. Don't forget, that is true power, baby. That's your real power. If you're just going by your ego, you're going by low self-esteem, dressed up as power, and you're using leveraged ways and ego to get your way. It is not stable. That's not stable. That's a house built on sand. You got to build your house on the foundation of truth for things to go a lot more smoothly in your life. Okay? Saying you're not going to have your lessons. Blessings. We're all going to have those. There's a page in here called Great, You're Being Blessed. In the worst times of your life, you're going, great, you're being blessed. And you go, no, I'm not. I am not being blessed. But you may not feel like that in some ways, especially if you lose somebody, especially if you lose young people. No. That is just the most awful thing we can go through, you know? But even that, we have to come back from. And even that, there's only one way, right? We got to remember our power, all right? Okay, so the CTA, get back in the power seat. Act from the truth that you can accomplish anything, including getting up and getting back into life when it feels like you don't want to do any of it. I know that feeling. This past 5 years has been like son of a little energy. It's like that the fear machine was turned up. We're all buzzing low. No. Yeah, they made a mistake there. They turned a lot of us on. That low switch of theirs said, you don't know the power you're dealing with. It's the power of eternity. It's the power of all of our forever selves put together to say no more bullshit, right? And you got to do that on a personal level in order to change your life into what you see it can be. And you got to be able to visualize that too, even if it's hard, even if you just visualize. Remember, it's the small mustard seed of faith and saying, God, I don't know how, but I know you're going to. That is the door opener to your way forward. And then every day you say, thank you for the blessings I don't understand and the blessings yet to be seen that I know are coming my way, because we walk by faith, not by human sight. We walk by faith. Okay? That we have what it takes. God put it in already. And that he will see us through the dark tunnel. And on the other side of that dark tunnel, we got to glean the gold that was there. And we have to sift a lot of times through a lot of pain to sift through. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But that's the stuff that people on the other side, they know you're in pain, and they say, you got to let that go. That's always the message from the other side is, we had our squabble here, or whatever that is, but the good stuff remains. They're only remembering the good stuff. They only want you to remember the good stuff. So that's your permission to slough off the pain part of it and stay with the gold of what was given. All right? And you are the gold. So stay in that gold, and you'll be given a lot. You'll be given a lot to the world. And thank you for that. All right? Thank you so much, guys. I hope you have a great and relaxing day. Enjoy yourselves. Much love. See you tomorrow.